Good morning, ladies. Good morning. I hope you're all having a good morning and that you had a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed your weekend and you're having a good start of the week. All right. So I'm really happy to have you here today. I know it's a bit early and it's very cold, but I hope this session is going to warm you up, or rather, the day gets better as we move along, right? Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our fifth step. This is our seventh session, right? So we started these sessions early July, when July was starting, and now we are on our seventh session. And I'm hoping that you found all the sessions insightful. If you've had any questions if you've had any questions after the sessions, you can always just let us know. We are here to support you, all right? But meanwhile, what you're seeing on the screen is what we're going to cover today. We're going to look at how you can implement Google Workspace across your business. So this is what you're going to look at today. I don't know how many of you are savvy with Google Workspace, or if you are on Google Workspace, if you're using Google Workspace, I'm not sure, but we're going to talk about that in a few. All right. So, as is the norm, I can see we have more people joining us today. As is the norm, go to the chat section, drop us your name and where you're joining us from. What is the name of your business? What are you dealing with? All right. So please just go to the chat section, drop your name, the name of your business, where you're joining us from, and what you're dealing with as a business. All right. It's a pleasure to have you here today. And I'm hoping you're all going to have a good session. So my name is Beryl Atino Kwat. I am a trainer with Impact Her. I'm joining you from Nairobi. And then I have my colleague who's going to be moderating this session. Her name is Amarachi Kalu, but you can see her in the chat section as Nora Kalu. All right. She's already dropping some comments there, welcoming you to this session so you can get acquainted with each other. Nora is joining us from Benin. You won't be able to see her in this session, but she'll be in the chat section moderating this this session. All right. Wow. So Catherine, hi Catherine, Ilona, watching from Ibadan, Nigeria. You're really glad to have you here, Catherine. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I know you're like, it's 9 a.m. your time. In Kenya, it's 11 a.m. right now. So we are 2 hours ahead of you. All right. Thank you so much. I've had Catherine introducing herself. Who else do we have? Heather Wynn. Good morning, Heather Wynn from Johannesburg, South Africa. Hi, Heather. We're glad to have you here today. I know we're 1 hour ahead of you, so it's 10, yes, it should be 10 a.m. in South Africa. It's 11 here, all right? And then Uraola Yakubu joining from Ogun State, Nigeria. Wow, this is nice. We have a diverse audience. This is good. Lillian, we're in the same locality, joining from Kenya. Lillian Geresa. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to have you guys here today. I'll just repeat again for those who aren't here, those who are joining us. I'm Bel Atieno of Watch. I'm a trainer with Impactor, and I'll be taking you through today's session. I think we've interacted once or twice throughout this series. All right. And then there's Amarachi, my colleague, joining from Benin. Hi, Ju. Ju, I hope you found the Hustle Academy very insightful. You can give us a short review in the chat section. I remember from last week's training, you mentioned you were in the Hustle Academy. So you can give us a short review for the people who haven't joined. They can try and see your experience and, encourage them to at least sign up for the session. Rosemary Mudeu joining from Kenya. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you so much for being here today. All right. So we're already almost 5 minutes into our session. All right. I think that's cue for me to start. All right. But before I begin this session, you can see the topic on the screen, implementing Google Workspace across your business. How many of you are acquainted with Google Workspace? What do you know about Google Workspace? Are you on Google Workspace? All right. No, if you don't know anything about Google Workspace, we're all here to learn from each other. I'm here to just, learn from you as much as you're here to learn from me. So if you're not acquainted with Google Workspace, if you're not savvy with it, please feel free to indicate you do not know what Google Workspace is. All right. I like to receive feedback, whether it's positive or negative. So feel free to indicate in the chat section if you know about Google Workspace, if you have interacted with it. If you don't know, it's also fine. Please indicate in the chat section. Hi, Daisy and Wanjiku Mungai. Shiko, I'm a travel advisor in Nairobi, Kenya with Nilani Travel Boutique. Welcome so much, Shiko. We're happy to have you here. Okay. So we will begin. There are 3 agendas we're going to cover in this session. All right. It's a 1-hour session, and there are 3 agendas we're going to cover. The first thing we're going to look at is discovering Google Workspace. All right. Please wait. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, but we're here to let's continue. So the 3 agendas we're going to cover today. The first agenda we're going to look at is discovering Google Workspace. What is Google Workspace? All right. How can you use Google Workspace? What are the components of Google Workspace? All right. And the next thing we're going to look at is boosting communication across your business. How can you improve communication within your business using the Google Workspace or the tools in Google Workspace? All right. And while the topic of increasing communication, how can you also leverage the same tools, or rather the variety of tools on Google Workspace to increase collaboration within your business? All right. That's what we're going to cover today. Understanding what Google Workspace is, discovering the tools in Google Workspace, communication, how can you use the tools for communication and collaboration within your business. All right. Now we have the Google Hustle Academy. I know we keep saying this before and after every session, and some of us have been able to attend the Hustle Academy. And I'm really glad I got some. Ju mentioned, Ju Murugu, she's in the chat section. All right. She mentioned she was attending Hustle Academy last week. So she'll just drop a short review. I'm hoping that's okay with you, Ju, to drop a short review on your experience with Google Hustle Academy so that the people who haven't signed up can learn. Or probably just get a snippet of your experience. All right. So if you have not signed up for the Google Hustle Academy, Amarachi will post the link in the chat section. Go to click on the link or copy and paste it on your browser, then sign up for the Hustle Academy. There's a lot more you can learn from the Hustle Academy. It's a week-long boot camp and it's free. You don't pay anything. You just sign up and then you learn a lot of things, whether it's how to pitch your business, if you're looking for funding, what are the different funding options available. And there's also one-on-one mentorship sessions. So you get assigned a mentor to, take you through 1 or 2 things that you're having difficulty with as a business. So it's very important that you try and leverage on that opportunity. All right. So thank you. Let me see. Okay, we don't have any more people joining us. Oh, Pao. Hi, Pao. Good morning. Happy New Month. Yeah, I didn't wish you all a happy new month. So happy new month. Thank you for that reminder, Pao. Okay. What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? So I know we all have businesses. We probably have team members. We probably have, if we own businesses, we have some employees. What tools do you use to communicate and collaborate within your business? What kind of tools are you using to communicate and collaborate within your business? Is it WhatsApp? Is it direct message? Is it emailing? Those are just examples I'm giving out. But to learn from you, because I'm not in your business, I cannot know. I'll only know if you let me know in the chat section. What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? Thank you, Nora, for that. So Nora has also posted the question in the chat section. Let me see your responses. I really like an interactive session. I don't want to feel like, it's just a lecture. I'm talking, and then at the end of the hour, or rather at the top of the hour, I just leave. I like some feedback once in a while. Let me see. What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? Lillian Geresa says, WhatsApp, emails, telephone calls, and text messages. Thank you, Lillian, for that. So the tools that you can use for formal communication, and then if you want instant feedback, there's also that. Thank you, Lillian, for that. Heather Wayne, Heather or Heather, I don't know. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think it's Heather, right? So Heather says Microsoft Teams. Wow. And you can, with Teams, you can also do video conferencing. So presentations. So that's really good. Wanjiku Mungai, Hangouts, WhatsApp, email, and call. Thank you so much, Wanjiku, for that. Florence Wafula says Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Those are nice responses, impressive responses. Thank you all for that. Now, so remember the first agenda, we had 3 agendas, and the first agenda we're going to look at is discovering Google Workspace. Do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? Are you savvy with Google Workspace? What are some of the tools, if you know some of the tools on Google Workspace that you're leveraging on? If none, please feel free to indicate that, you know what, I don't know what Google Workspace is, and I have not interacted with Workspace before. So feel free to also give that response. All responses are accepted. Drew says Zoom, Google Meet, and WhatsApp. Thank you for that. I think that's a response to my previous question. So now, do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? Do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? Do you know some of the tools on Google Workspace? If you don't know what Google Workspace is, please, again, feel free to indicate that I don't know what Google Workspace is. Let me see those responses again. Some in the chat section, waiting for your responses. Do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? Thank you, Nora, for that. Thank you for reiterating the question in written form in the chat section. Do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? Do Google Sheets, correct. That's good. That's good. Any other response? Thank you, Ju, for that. More responses, please. More responses. Do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? So remember, if you're not using Google Workspace, if you don't know what Google Workspace is, feel free to say, I don't know that. And Heather said, I don't know what that is. Thank you, Heather, for that. Wanjiku Mungai. Chico says Google Drive, Docs, Sheets sometimes. That's good. Thank you, Wanjiku, for that. And calendar. Yeah. Thank you for that. Drew, Jamboards, and Slido. That's nice. That's really nice. I know most of us are not savvy with, how Jamboards work, but we're going to look at that in this session. All right. Rosemary, no, I haven't used it. Thank you so much, Rosemary, for that feedback. All right. So we'll dive into what Google Workspace is, and I'm sure you'll find out that there are actually tools that you're currently using. You just didn't know that they're part of the Google Workspace. Okay. So what is Google Workspace? First of all, you have to get an understanding of what Workspace is. All right. So Google Workspace, if you previously knew about G Suite, it's more or less the same thing, just a different name change, but basically the same, of course, with some additional tools in it. All right. So Google Workspace is a collection of cloud computing tools that help to improve collaboration or communication within businesses. So it's a collection of cloud computing productivity and collaboration tools and software that you can use within your business if you want to improve collaboration or communication. So that is what Google Workspace is, if you're going to look at the definition first. And these are some of the tools, or all of the tools actually, on Google Workspace. So looking at the icons on the screen, which ones can you identify? Which icons can you identify on the screen? Which icons do you identify on the screen? I can see Gmail. I've gone with Gmail. So which that Gmail is the first one. What other icon can you identify on the screen? What other icons can you identify on the screen? Let me see. Let me see. Let me look for your responses. Drive. Who? Ju says drive. Ju Murugu says drive. Which icons can you recognize? Wanjiku says Gmail, calendar, Google Drive, Google Meet. Ju also says Google Meet, Docs. Which other icons can you identify? Which other icons do you identify? Which icons do you identify? I can see Google Forms. I can see Google Forms. I can see Google Forms. I can see Docs, just like Ju has mentioned. She has seen the calendar. She has seen the Drive and Meet. Wanjiku, Google Docs, Sheets, Hangout. Yes. One more response. One more response. One more response. I Nora says she loves the vibe and responses. Me too, Nora. Me too. So one more response. Rosemary, Microsoft Office documents. Okay. So you can see Docs. Google tools are not the same as Microsoft because these are different companies. All right. So I'm sure we know we always interact with Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, those tools. But now these are tools within Google. All right. So we won't term them as Microsoft tools, but they're more or less the same. But these are now Google tools. Okay. Ju says Excel sheet. Rosemary, Google Meet. All right. So I think that's key for me to move on. What is the core functionality of Google Workspace? When I was giving you the definition, I just said that Google Workspace is a collection of cloud computing tools that you can use within your business to either increase collaboration and communication. Okay. But what are the functionalities of, if you look at the icons that we looked at in this screen, right? All these icons, and we summarize the functionality of each, all right? So what can you use those tools for? If you're on Workspace, I mean, how can Workspace benefit you? The first thing, you're able to create documents and presentations. You can create documents and presentations, right? You can create documents with Google Sheets. You can create documents with Google Slides. You can create documents with Google Docs, okay? And then you can also record, analyze, and present data. Recording, analyzing, and present data. You can use Google Sheets for this. You can use Google Forms for this, okay? And then you can brainstorm ideas, manage projects, and store files. If you're brainstorming ideas and managing projects and store files, you can use Google Drive. You can use Jamboard. You can use Google Currents, and then you're able to communicate globally. If it's with Google Hangouts or Gmail, okay? So those are the four main core functionalities of the Google Workspace. So when you're looking at creating documents and presentations, and I've mentioned this when I was going through the list in the previous slide, creating documents and presentations, which tools can you use for this? You can use Google Docs to create documents, and you can use Google Slides as well. And the benefit of this, you can also input or add collaborators to these forms. You can add collaborators to your Google Docs, and you can add collaborators to your Google Slides. So they can always either view, you can give them viewing rights if you just want them to look at the document, or you can give them editing rights if you want them to make changes on your document, or if you want to work on the document collaboratively, okay? Then recording, analyzing, and presenting data. You can use Google Forms for this and Google Sheets. So if you survey with Excel, it's just the same thing, all right? So you can use Google Sheets for this. You can input formulas. If assuming you're coming up with financial plans, you can always use the Google Sheets for that. If you want to record your sales, you can use Sheets for that. If you want to, come up with a document that has maybe your customers' contacts, you can use Google Sheets for that. All right. And then there's also Google Forms. If you want to send out surveys to, maybe you want to send out a customer satisfaction survey to your clients, you can use forms for that. And then when you're downloading the responses, you can download them as CSV files. They will come in Excel form. So you'll have all the data recorded and analyzed, all right? And you can make presentations. You can present this data, right? Then what are the benefits? We've looked at the core functionalities. We've looked at what Google Workspace is. What are the core functionalities? Okay, what are the different tools that you can use for those functionalities, the specific functionalities? So now, what are the benefits? Remember when I mentioned when we were looking at creating documents, presentations, we looked at Google Forms, and then we looked at Google Sheets, but with also Google Docs, all right, and the slides. When you're able to add your teammates as collaborators, it helps to, increase how you're working together within teams. Okay, so when I'm creating a document or when I'm working on a document, and I need input from another team member, and we're in different regions, I don't have to download it, then send it to them on email, have them work on it, then have them send it back to me. I can just create the document on Google, right, on either of the tools that we've gone through, and give them collaboration rights. Then we are able to work on the document real time. So there's not a lot of back and forth. Okay, so there's increased collaboration, and then there's also improved communication. If they have, assuming on the document they have a recommendation on something that are supposed to work on, they can leave a comment on the document. So I'm able to see it, and if I action it, I can mark it as resolved. So there's, like I mentioned, not a lot of back and forth. And also with improved communication, if you want instant feedback, you can always use the Google Hangouts, and you're going to look at how you can do that. If there's also Gmail, if you want to go with formal conversations, okay? And there's also smarter working. Remember when we said about brainstorming ideas that you can use the Jamboard to brainstorm ideas? So there's smarter working. There's reduced time. There's actually reduced time on working on projects together. So basically, that's smarter working. And then there's enhanced security. All documents are stored in the cloud. Remember the definition, a collection of cloud computing tools. So there's enhanced security because all documents are stored on the cloud, even if my laptop gets stolen. All right. And I saved all these documents on the Google Workspace. If it's a Google form, if it is documents I've put on my drive, I can always access them again. So long as I have access to my email, I can access them again. Okay. So with increased collaboration, Google Workspace helps to store your information in the cloud, enabling you to share documents and files with ease. I think I've mentioned this when we were looking at the benefits on how you can increase collaboration. All right. So you can track changes, you can comment with ideas. If I give, say, I'm working on a document right now, I create a document on, let's say, Google Slides. So Google Slides are just like PowerPoint. So if I create a document on Google Slides and I have different departments in my organization, say I'm in operations and there's someone else from finance. So assuming Ju is from the finance department, but I need her input on this document. Probably I need to present it to the board and I need input from the finance department. I can just go to my form, my slide, and then add Ju, so long as I have her email address, give her collaboration rights, give her editing rights on the document, and tell her, you know what, I need some financial details probably about the last quarter from your department. Can you just fill that out on my, on the Google Slides, all right, for me to complete the document. So she can do it from her end and I will be able to see it real time. So it's not like she's sending me the information and then I have to work on it again, right? So from her end, she can work on the same document, all right? So reducing the time that I can work on the document and help with that. And then as she's going through the document, she can see maybe one slide where I'm missing out some information. She can drop a note on the side or a comment on the side on that document and she'll say, you know what, Beryl, I think you've made a mistake here. Can you add this and this and this, or remove this and this and this? And I will be able to see that, right? And action that. Once I action it, I can mark it as result. So when she drops the comment, I'll get a notification. Jumurugu dropped a comment on your document, on your slide document. And once I action it and mark it as resolved, it's going to give her notification in her end. Beryl resolved the comment that you recommended, right? So that's how collaboration works. And then there's improved communication. So with Gmail, you can send emails out to people outside your locality. You can send you can send emails globally, okay? And then there's also Google Meet. So it's a platform where you can have meetings, you can share presentations, right? You can have trainings on Google Meet. It's a video conferencing tool that you can use within your business to have meetings. And then there's Google Currents. I know most of us are not using Google Currents. So what is Google Currents? You can use, what are the functionalities of Google Currents? So you can use Google Currents you can use Google Currents to run polls within your organization. All right, it helps to improve on collaboration. It helps to improve on collaboration. Okay, so you can run polls using the Google Currents. You can use it to collaborate with your team members. You can share ideas with them. Okay, so those are some of the functionalities of the Google Currents. Now, what else? There's the Google chat. There's the Google chat. I can decide to, assuming I have 10 people in my operations department, I can create a group on Google chat and then just send out one message and all my team members would be able to see that message. I don't have to send the same message individually to all these 10 people. It's just like WhatsApp, right? But it's a Google chat and it's an instant messaging platform. You get immediate feedback once you send out messages. So you can decide to create groups on Google Chat. It helps with improving communication. Remember also with the Gmail, let me go back to my number one tool, Gmail. You can create group emails. You can create a finance team email so that June and her team can be copied in all that, can be grouped in that one email. So I don't have to, when I'm sending out an email, I don't have to CC like 5 or 10 people. If they're all in the same department, I can create one group email for them besides their individual emails, because it's also important that they have their individual emails. Okay. So by working smarter, right, you can collect, analyze, and turn data into insight. streamlining your workflows, processes, and managing files. Okay. So if I have documents that I also want to, share with other departments in the team, or maybe my team members, I can have folders on my Google Drive. I can set up folders on my Google Drive and then store my documents there, and then give either of my team members access to that folder. Okay, I can give them access to that folder, assuming we are looking at, as a business, we're looking at diving into a new market. Okay. Of course, there's market research that I need to have done, audience research that I need to have done. How well, how will, what is the history of, people consuming that product? So this, of course, if I did a market survey or market research, there are findings to that, right? So I have the document in my drive, and then I can give one other person access to, one or two other people, depending on who I want, access to that folder. They can always access it. So it helps with project management, right? It helps with project management. So you're able to work faster, and then securely store files in data. I've talked about the Google Drive, right? So you can store documents, you can store files and data on the cloud via Google Drive. I give an example of, assuming I lost my laptop and I had everything saved on either of the, I had everything saved either on file, on the drive, or I was working on my documents in either Google Slides or Google Sheets. I will still be able to access that document. I will not have lost any data. Okay. So you remember, you can use admin console to centralize your administration. You can use admin console if you're the admin. If you are the admin of that workspace account, you can use it to centralize administration, manage your users. You can restrict access to, people that you would only want to access documents within. You can set up passwords and two-step authentication. It's very important to set up two-step authentication. It helps with your security. And this is even the same with the social media accounts. Remember to always have two-step authentication, all right? So how do you create your Google Workspace account? How do you create your Google Workspace account? So Nora will drop the link to creating the Workspace account. Nora will drop the link. If you're not on Workspace yet, you can try and get set up on Workspace. Okay. So visit Workspace, but with Workspace, there's an annual payment to have an account. So you have to make the payments for that. Okay. So you have to pay to be on Workspace. But trying to think of the rates. I'm not very sure of the rates, but there's an annual payment to it. But to get started, go to Workspace. The link will be posted in the chat section. You start by inputting your business name. What is your business name? Then add your contact details, choose your domain. Remember, you have to have an email. Your business has to have a domain. Sorry, your business has to have a domain. What do I mean by domain? It's maybe my business name is Beryl's Organic Shop. So my domain could be www.berylsorganicshop.co.ke or .com. Okay, so let's work with .com. www.berylsorganicshop.com. So I need to input that domain there, because when I'm coming out with the emails, they'll be like, maybe Shiko is my teammate, so it'll be, when I'm setting up the emails, then if I have a domain, it's going to be Shiko at berylsorganicshop.com. So that's why it's important to have a domain, and then update your business address, and then set up your login details. Okay. So how to get set up on Workspace? Remember, you need to create your business email. Remember, most people tend to interact with businesses. Like, people are very wary of, if you're a business, assuming you're recruiting, and then you send out recruitment advert, and then you're saying, please send your resumes to maybe if it's Gmail. So most people are really wary of that. They tend to look at the domain after. Okay. So that's why it's important to have a business email, and that's why it's important to have a domain. Okay. If you don't have a website, you can create your own website using Wix. GMB comes with a free website. So when you're creating your profile, you get a free website. So try to have a website. If you have the resources, you can. If you have the resources, you can get a professional developer. Okay, if you have the resources, you can get a professional developer to set up a website for you. Okay, so create your business email the first, and then add your team members and users. Then you can migrate your data and import files. If you are not on Workspace before and you decide, you know what, I want to get set up on Workspace, I want to get started on Workspace, you can migrate export all your previous emails onto Workspace, so you're not losing data. Actually, I meant import. You can import your previous emails, your previous communication on email, if it's with your clients, if it's teammates, onto Workspace. You're not getting started, so you'll not be able to lose any data, right? So I will be taking questions. Let me see if I have lost any questions. I mean, if I have any questions that I've missed out, please drop your questions. The name of my business this is Catherine Kint Integrated Resources and Logistics to produce some ladies' accessories that complement their dressing in the range hats, fascinators, scarfinators, and branded t-shirts. So that's a description of Catherine's business. Thank you so much, Catherine, for that. All right. Primag just joined us. Good morning. Nice to be here. Nice to have you here, Primag. And then if you don't have a website, there's a chance to win a free website. There is a chance to win a free website. Nora will drop the link to that. There's a chance to win a free website. So, of course, there are prerequisites, there are requirements to that, and not everyone will be able to get that. So, there's a chance to win a free website from joining this session. Nora will drop the link to that. Okay, Nora will drop the link to that, and then yeah, you can fill it up, and all the best, because like I said, it's a chance to win a free website. So not everyone who fills it out gets the website. So thank you, Wenwa. Esther says, great. Thank you. Thank you, Nora, for that. So that's the link. Please fill it up to get a chance to win a free website. So we'll move on to the next part of our session. We will move on to the next part of our session. Are we all ready? So you can give me a yes if you're ready for us to move to the next agenda. You can give me a yes if you're ready for us to move to the next agenda. Let me see. What are your comments? Are you ready to move to the next agenda? You can give me a yes. Thank you, Primag, for that. And Esther, thank you. So we have 3 agendas to cover. Sorry, just excuse. Okay. So we have 3 agendas to cover. Now we'll move to the second part of this session, boosting communication across your business. Why is it important to boost communication across your business? What are the tools that you can use to boost communication across your business? So which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? We've looked at the tools. I've talked about some of the tools and how you can leverage on those tools. So from what I've talked about, which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? Which tools can you use to boost communication? Which tools do you think you can use to boost communication? I'm looking at your responses. Please, I need a free website. So Catherine, if you need a free website, please fill out the form that Nora posted. There's a chance to win a free website. It's like a raffle. Yeah, it's like a raffle, right? So best person, if luck falls on you, you'll get a free website. But you can also, if you're not on Google My Business, are you on Google My Business? If you're not on Google My Business, when you're creating a business profile, it comes with a free website. Okay. So if you're not on, if you don't have a Google business profile, it comes with a free website. So Nora can also post the link to the Google My Business. Yes, Nora will post the link to Google My Business. Thank you, Nora. So that is the link to, if you want to get a chance to win a free website, you can fill that up, Catherine. And then she'll also post the link to getting set up on Google Business Profile. But that session was covered. I think it was the 5th session in this series. Yes. But she'll post the link again. If you don't have a Google My Business Profile, you can get started on that. And then that is the verification form, Amarachi. So just paste the link on how to get started. If you have issues with your business verification, there's also that form that Amarachi has posted. Okay, you can fill that up. But getting set up, there's a business dot, what is it? It's called business.google.com. Yeah, to get started with Google My Business Profile. And then there's a place where you will see free website. So creating an account on business profile comes up with a free website. So Nora will also post that. Okay. I hope that will be very helpful to you, Catherine, because it's important to have a website. Okay. So these are the communication tools that you can use. These are the These are the communication tools that you can use to improve. I mean, these are the tools that you can use to improve communication within your business. Okay. Yeah. So there's Gmail, then there's Google Meet, there's Currents, and there's Chat, right? And you're going to look at this in detail. You're going to look at these tools in detail. How can you improve communication? The first thing is you can use Gmail, sending and receiving emails. You can use Google Meet, you can use Google Currents or Google Chat. So with Gmail, you're able to communicate globally with ease. You can send out emails to anyone, anywhere. You can send out emails to anyone, anywhere. Using the attachment feature on Gmail, you're able to share files, okay? Remember, you can also, I talked about setting group mailing lists. You can have a finance email, finance group email, operations group email, logistics group email, okay? So you can create group emailing lists, which helps to improve your communication. Remember, this topic is all about improving communication, okay? And then you can access the integrated calendar in order to stay connected and up to date. You can always integrate your email with your calendar, okay? So you can always send out calendar invites if you want to set a meeting. It's very important, by the way, to operate with your calendar. It helps you to stay organized. It helps you to stay organized. You're always able to get notifications of upcoming meetings, able to arrange your day. Okay, so you won't be able to miss meetings. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so it's very important to integrate that with your Gmail. Okay, and then there's Google Meet. It's a video conferencing tool. It's a video conferencing tool with Google. I know some of us have used what is it? Zoom. Some of us have used Zoom, others are using Microsoft Teams. So it's basically almost the same thing, okay? You're able to have meetings using Google Meet. Google Meet. You can have team meetings, okay? You can have trainings. You can have presentations. You're able to share presentations, okay? So there's Google Meet. With Google Meet, your team members are able to unmute themselves. So there's feedback that you're getting. It's more or less like recreating in-person meetings. You are recreating in-person meetings. Anything that you would do on in-person meetings, you can do it on Google Meet as well. Okay. And then there's Google Currents. So how does Google Currents help? I talked about this, I think, previously. I mentioned what you can use Google Currents for. But the other thing is here, you can engage employees with Google Currents. You can foster more meaningful conversations with Google Currents. You can also share polls. You can share polls with Google Currents. Okay. So it helps to improve communication, how you're working with your team members. Okay. You can trade insights with Google Currents. You can, what else can you do with Google Currents? You can share posts on Google Currents. So it's more or less um, enhances communication within team members. Okay. Then there's the Google Chat. It's an instant messaging platform that you can try and use. So if I want instant feedback, I can decide, you know what, and I don't want to use WhatsApp. So you know what, I'll communicate with my team member via Google Chat, or I can create groups on Google Chat to help with communication. And remember, it's important to have communication guidelines within your business. What are the communication guidelines? Right? You can say, for instant messaging, please, we will be using Google Chat as the tool for that. For formal conversations, you're going to be using emails. So it's very important to set up communication guidelines so that your team members can know. No one will be able to say, no, I didn't see your message in Google Chat. You know, you can always take them back to your guidelines and tell them, you know what, we said Google Chat is the recommended tool for instant communication in this organization. Okay, so you're required to be checking your chat. Okay, so while setting up guidelines, you can also decide on the tools that you can use for those communication. Okay, so chat could be one of them. What are the top tips to maximize communication? All right. So you recreate in-person communication. I've talked about this when we were looking at Gmail. Okay. There's also staying organized. I talked about having a calendar, integrating your calendar with your Gmail, able to set up meetings, you're able to schedule meetings, you can plan your day. There are less likely chances that you'll miss meetings if you have them organized on your calendar. Okay. You can create team mailing lists and you can set up project or team rooms. So recreating in-person communication. The first thing, you're able to schedule. You can schedule regular team calls and check-ins via Google Meet and Hangouts. You can schedule regular team calls and check-ins via Google Meet and Hangouts. You can connect with your colleagues and teams across the globe. So assuming like right now I am in Kenya, okay, and I work for Impactor. Impactor's headquarters is in Nigeria and US, okay, but I'm still able to communicate with my team members in US, my team members in Nigeria, in Benin, in Cameroon, in Mozambique, because we have diverse team members. And I am in Kenya, we have other team members in Kenya. We are still able to communicate as if we are, in the same room, okay? And then there's also brainstorming ideas, working on team projects. You can hold virtual events, and then I'm able to join. I can have access to my email on my phone or on my desktop, right? I might have downloaded the Google Meet tool or the Google Meet app on my phone or on my desktop, okay? So I have access on the go if I decide to use my mobile or my desktop. And then staying organized, I talked about the calendar, okay? You can create multiple team calendars to track meetings, training sessions. If I am on leave, I can indicate on my calendar I am on leave and share my calendar with my team so they know during this time, you know what, Beryl is not going to be available, okay? So you can always share your calendar with team members so that they know your schedule. If they decide to they look at your calendar and know when it's free to set up the meeting. Okay, so it helps to improve visibility and organization. So when you're creating team mailing lists, remember when you're getting set up on Google Workspace, you had your domain and then you created a business email for yourself and for your team members. When you're setting up the emails, you can do individual emails, You can do group emails. Okay. Then you can send status updates. You can share resources, which helps to increase visibility and foster community within teams. Okay. And then the last thing, setting up project or team rooms. Setting up project or team rooms. When we were looking at chat, I talked about having group chats. Okay. So you can encourage team members to network with each other within the groups. They can share ideas there. You can also brainstorm there. You can what, if maybe I saw an idea and I want feedback from my communications instantly, all right, I want feedback from them instantly, I can drop that in the group chat and then we can discuss there. Okay, so it helps with sharing ideas, fostering community, exchanges, have exchanges and thoughts on best practices. Okay, so that's it for that part of our session. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Let me see. If there are no questions, also indicate no questions so that I know we're on the same page. Thank you, Nora. So Nora posted the link to getting started on Google My Business. If you don't have a free website when you're getting started or getting set up on Google My Business, you can get the free website. Thank you, Nora, for that. And then Babayemi Busayu joined us. Hi, Ju. Okay. So do we have any questions? If there are no questions, also indicate no questions so that you can move to the last part of this session. If there are no questions, indicate no questions. If you have a question, drop a question. Let me know. Are we all in understanding? Are we all on the same page? What do you want me to repeat? Your feedback, your feedback, your feedback. Do we have any questions? If there are no questions, it's okay. If you're also ready for us to move to the next session, you can give me a yes also, so that I know that I can move to the last agenda of today. So we've looked at discovering Workspace. What is Workspace? What are the tools on Google Workspace? How can you use those tools for communication? So the last part, you're going to use to look at the tools you can use for collaboration. So the last part of the session, we're going to look at the tools you can use for collaboration. So can I move to the next part of the session? Yes, 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 yes. No, no. Are we ready for me to move to the last part of this session? Are we ready for me to move to the last part of this session? Okay. We've all gone quiet. Are we tired? Should I leave it here? Are we all okay? I can't know if you don't tell me. I can't know if you don't tell me. Or I just take the bull by the horns and, move. So I'll just wait for one person to tell me and then I'll move. Are we all ready for me to move to the next part of the session? Are we ready? Thank you, Nora, for that prompt. Thank you, Nora, for that. I appreciate. Okay. Thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate. It's very encouraging to, get feedback from people when you're talking. You need to understand, we're on the same page. They've understood what I'm talking about. I just don't want to talk and move and not know if they're all getting the content. All right. So thank you. Thank you, Primag. Rose Gishuki, Dada team salutes you for your resolve to learn. Thank you, Rose. Rose has been very, very helpful in ensuring that these sessions are happening. All right. She's been at the core of the communications that you've been getting to attend the sessions. And we're really, really happy that Dada has encouraged its members, Dada by Fabric has encouraged its members to join this training session. So salute to you, Rose. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the effort that you've been putting in to ensure that these sessions are, successful. So the last part of this session is going to look at leveraging tools to increase collaboration. Leveraging tools to increase collaboration. So we've looked at communication, the tools that you can use for communication. Which tools can you use for collaboration now? So which tools can you use for collaboration? Okay. Which tools can we use for collaboration? That's what we are going to look at. So collaborating across teams and projects, you're able to brainstorm ideas. And we look at tools that you can use for brainstorming. I know some of us mentioned some tools here and there when I was posing questions out to you, but you're going to look at those tools in details. And then you can share working files. You're able to make suggestions and tag colleagues and track changes. So these are the benefits of collaborating within tools. The first thing, you're able to brainstorm on ideas. You're able to share on working files. You're able to make suggestions and tag colleagues, and you're able to track changes. So there's Jamboard. If you know the normal whiteboards that we all work with, I know most of us have whiteboards within our offices or in our businesses. So maybe we decided to have meetings on Monday mornings, or Wednesdays, or Fridays, and decide on brainstorming as a team. All right. So with the Jamboard, it's a digital whiteboard. It's a digital whiteboard. Remember, the tools that we've looked at on Google Workspace, they are cloud computing tools. So you work on them when you're online. Okay. So these Jamboards are digital whiteboards that you can use to brainstorm. Actually, the image on the screen indicates, or rather just shows how the Jamboard looks like. It's a digital, it's just the same whiteboard that we normally have, but now this is a virtual board. So if I want to brainstorm on an idea right now, assuming we are all in the same organization, and I want us to, maybe I'm looking at bringing in a new product, but I want your input. If you think a worthy initiative, if the product has market, I need all that input. But we are not in the same area, so we can't meet in person. I can decide to create a Jamboard link from my end, right? And share the link with you, either on email, if you have a group email, or on Google Chat. I can decide to share the link with you. Once you click on the link, you'll all have access to the Jamboard, and you can drop your comments. So you can see even the things that are indicated on this whiteboard on the screen. All right. These are different people. These are ideas from different people. As you input your idea on the Jamboard, I'm able to see it real time. Okay. So it's just brainstorming, digital brainstorming, if I might say that. Okay. So it's very important. If you're not using Jamboard and you have a lot of brainstorming meetings with your team members, you can try and get started with Jamboard, right? Then there's Google Drive. You're able to store files on Google Drive. I can have a folder for finance documents. I can have a folder for logistics. I can have a folder for operations, and share each folder with the relevant team members. I can decide to give them viewing rights, so they're able to just view the documents on the folder, or I can give them editing rights. They're able to make changes on those folders. Okay, I mean on the documents on those folders. So there's also Google Drive. You're able to store documents, you can share documents, you can share presentations, okay? It reduces the time that you normally have with sending emails out or sending documents out for someone to make a change on the document, have them send it back. It reduces all that time. So remember, this also takes us down to, or rather narrows down to the benefit of smarter working, which we said is one of the benefits of the Google Workspace. Okay, so making suggestions and tagging colleagues. I talked about this when we were looking at creating documents. I can decide to create a presentation on Google Slides or Google Docs. Okay, I can decide to create a presentation on Google Slides and Google Docs. So when I'm creating these documents, I can decide to give rows I can decide to give Rose editing rights to that document. So she can she can input her, information or data. If it's data I need from her, she can input that on the document. Okay. And on the screen, for example, you can see that, for example, Kaori Kim made a recommendation, all right, made a recommendation to Jacob and make the text bigger. So you're able to tag your colleagues, make the text bigger. And then Jacob came, resolved that comment, made the text bigger, and resolved the comment, all right? So Kaori got a notification, you know what? Jacob actioned the comment that you recommended, so that is resolved. So you're able to tag your colleagues, you're able to make suggestions on documents, you're able to track changes on documents. Your team members can collaborate on the same documents, all right? And then tracking changes, I've talked about this when I was looking at the documents. You can see edits that people make on your documents. You can see edits. You can know who made the edit. You can track changes on documents. While restricting access, you can decide to just give them viewing rights to see the document, or editing rights where they can make edits and they can also download the document. Okay, so all this helps with improving collaboration within your business. So that was it for improving collaboration. Is there a question that I have missed? Is there a question that I have missed? The attendance form has been posted. Please, please, please make sure you fill the attendance form, input your correct name. And I hope you have all been receiving certificates from the previous sessions. So the certificates only come if you have attended the session. So please make sure you fill in the attendance form. Thank you, Nora, for that. Nora has posted the attendance form. Make sure you fill that form with your correct name for the certificate. And I hope we have been receiving certificates for the previous session. Okay. So while at it, while you're filling in the attendance form, remember, I reiterate again, remember to sign up for the Google Hustle Academy. Remember to sign up for the Google Hustle Academy. It's a 1 week long bootcamp run by Google, and it's free. You don't pay for it. And you learn a lot of things, from how to generate and improve revenue for your business. What are the different digital marketing channels that you can use for your business? How can you pitch your business? What are the funding options available for business? And then you also get assigned a mentor. There's one-on-one mentorship sessions. And then there's also a session where we have a partner coming in to talk about the success of their business. So we get case studies from success stories, and these are things that you can learn, or these are people or instances that you can learn from as a business person, right? So make sure you sign up for the Hustle Academy. The link, Nora has posted it in the chat section again. Again, if you have or you want to learn more, maybe your interest on digital skills has been spiked up and you want to learn more, you can go to learndigital.withgoogle.com/digital skills/courses and self-study. So if I'm now interested on digital skills, but where can I learn? Where can I learn more? Where can I get this information? You can just go to learndigital.google.com/digital skills/courses and self-learn from there. This link will also be posted in the chat section by my colleague Nora. Meanwhile, you can also go to our social media pages, follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Digital Skills Africa, all right? Digital Skills for Africa, or you can go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Impact Her, and follow us. Remember to also subscribe to our YouTube channels. You will be getting notifications of upcoming sessions. You can always sign up for new sessions as we move along. That's it for today. Our session lasted 1 hour, and I hope it was very impactful, or you found the session impactful. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm happy to have you here. I was happy It was a good session. It was an interactive session. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any questions? I don't think I've missed any question. I don't think I've missed any question. So just to say again, thank you, Rose. And thank you, Stanbic, Data by Stanbic, for ensuring that we have these sessions with your members. I'm sure they find it insightful. And we're hoping to have more sessions with you. Okay? So thank you all and have a good day. I think this is it for us. Bye. Enjoy your day. Bye, everyone.